This is a Lip Media podcast.
Hello, Lamely. Oh my God, I feel like I'm still in the middle of something. I'm halfway through.
Oh my God.
It's not okay.
All week I've been wondering what I'm doing.
I know. It's chapter 11 of Me, I Am a Memoir, the meaning of Mariah Carey. But we are only halfway through the Make It Happen chapter. So we've only sung half the song.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she sings the song like at least 3 times in this chapter.
Yeah, that's definitely, yeah.
There's a lot of it. So let's barrel on into it because we've got a lot to get through, basically. So no me moments this week because of the Facebook news ban.
The Facebook ban's still going, we assume.
Still going. We're trapped in a newsless hell.
All right, which means I think it's time for a recap.
How about a recap? A recap. Would you like a recap?
So a recap. We're recapping half a chapter.
Yes,
So
but it was a dense.
there was so much.
like a
So
Christmas cake.
We had a bagel.
We
We
did.
had ice in our flaps.
Don't we all?
Could not do sums. We kissed some grits. We we signed a shady piece of paper, and we said, "Don't give away the publishing," even though we already gave away the publishing.
It was retroactive. We tried.
We tried not to, but
Little
we were-
Mariah, if you're listening, do not give away the
Don't
publishing.
give away the publishing. And we sang almost all of Make It Happen, weirdly. And then we're going to keep singing it. Oh, and All in Your Mind, which I don't think we touched on it, but was going to be in a movie. And she said, no,
I did mention it. I didn't mention the movie, but I did mention it.
it's going to be in a movie. No.
I mean, it was a week ago. How can I remember?
I know, it's so long ago.
Long ago.
No. And we don't know Ben, and he wrote half the album. Anyway, that's what happened. She moved to New York City, and this has been hectic. ever
Even
since.
that was a quite a hefty recap.
Yeah.
Even just
I
in
know.
half a chapter.
Oh, we didn't even go through the Swedish girls that she lived with
No.
and the other people and the stuff she's not allowed to go into and Morgan going to Italy.
You can't get into that. so much. All right. Do you want to give us the gist of the second half of Make It Happen?
The G's.
Look, the tarp is down. The tarp is down. Brenda K-Star, Cindy Mizell, Barbara Streisand, Whitney Houston, Luther Vandross, the Rolling Stones, Lenny Kravitz, and Will Smith.
Or Romeo.
All of these people get their names dropped.
All right. Shall we break it on down?
It's some busy shit. Oh, and we go to LA.
La.
Exciting.
Got a plane. All right. Shall we break it on down? Part 2. The Deathly
Oh, yes.
Hallows Part 2.
Yes, we're still breaking.
We're still breaking. We have not hit the floor yet.
No.
All right.
Break me on down.
So Mariah continued in the New Yorks to do the backing vocals. She's out there doing
Yes.
stuff.
The BVs,
The
as you
BVs,
told me
as-
it's called
yes.
last week.
In the industry, I assume. Now, eventually, Mariah ends up meeting Cindy Mizell.
Oh,
And she was one
The
of
amazing.
the it girls in the BV world,
amazing, Cindy Mizell.
right? So we get a little list of some peeps that she had sung for. We've got the Babs, we've got the Whitney, we've got the Luther, and we've got the Stones. Right? So the tub is already full.
The tarp is like
soaked.
chock-a-block. Yeah.
They begin working together. It's the whole profesh thing. And Mariah sort of says that Cindy was a bit of a perfectionist, as Mariah is now.
As am I.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
But that she was fair and patient. And Mariah
Yes.
sort of goes on to detail how precise you have to be a backing singer.
In the BVs.
In the BV.
Because I guess a lead singer is singing whatever the fuck they want.
And that's what I do.
And the producer is like, that's great. So the background vocals have to match up to whatever this crazy bitch is doing.
Yeah. You basically have to be perfect every time, every live show. It doesn't matter if the lead goes and woes all over the place. You have to be perfect. And on top of that, you ain't getting no credit.
No.
Because it's essentially whoever's at that front in that spotlight is who's getting it. Obviously, there are people who, go to the shows and go, wow, those backing singers are amazing. Not everyone's heartless. But
And
the
often,
greater public...
The stars themselves will always go, oh, this is so-and-so, this is so-and-so, and introduce them and let them have a little moment in the spotlight. Not too much, but a little moment in the spotlight. It's not as, it's not as bad
It's a little
as,
dimmed,
say in the scene in Glitter where it's a turn Silk all the way down, turn Billy all the way down. That doesn't happen.
But I will say, any artist out there, be very careful. You do not want to piss off your background vocalists.
No.
Or
They can
your
make you sound
band.
so bad.
Or your band, or your sound engineers. And the thing is, the beauty of Mariah, she knows this. Which is
Yes.
why she allows the 10 seconds of spotlight in her shows.
Spotlight over there and back on me, thank you.
Yeah, but it's true. Mariah knows she ain't shit without all of the everything. And anyway,
I went to see, I think it was Dionne Warwick at the casino maybe, and she was like, she was telling us who'd been to university, where they went to school, like just like whole life stories of her entire band. And I was like, I was like, sing the theme for Bold and the Beautiful.
Oh, I'm glad he got his certificate, but come on. Time's a ticking. Imagine like someone else being like, no, I want to hear more about university.
It was so, I mean, it was really cute, but yeah. By the way, sidebar, are you onto Dionne Warwick on Twitter?
A little, yeah. I haven't been religiously following, but yes.
She is amazing.
Yeah.
Like remember what Twitter was like when it was just us, just you and me and
that's
Andrea?
in her head. Paso.
That's how she is. Like she's behaving like Twitter's like this brand new thing and there's no shade anywhere and there's nothing crazy. I'm like, I love it. I feel it's like the old days of Twitter. Like she's just excited about everything. She's learning how to use her phone. It is amazing.
I do love it. She is.
You've got to follow Dionne Warwick. She's
everyone.
just
Me, I am Dionne Warwick Twitter.
she's mad as a cut snake.
It's time to cut the lawn. Now, Mariah...
I mean, she's up there with Cher and the All Caps.
Oh my god, the share of it all. The share of it all. I think there's a podcast about that.
Yeah.
Now, Mariah does go on to say something which, of course, many of the Lamb will know, which is that doing the background vocals is one of Mariah's favorite things.
Yes.
Like Oprah's favorite things, Mariah's is doing the layered vocals.
Yep.
So one day, Cindy and Mariah were at the mic next to each other, and Cindy could hear Mariah's tummy rumble.
Oh.
So she looked at her outfits and her shoes. She's like, okay, I know what's going on here. All right.
Poor.
And I love that
girl.
Mariah says that she was too excited to be self-conscious. My ambition was stronger than my shame, which I am 100% tatting on my forehead. It is such an artist.
That would be the definition of your ambition being stronger than your shame.
What shame?
Is having a tattoo on your forehead.
Yeah. What? Mariah told me to do it. The Mariah voice in my head.
That's your
told me to do
Mariahism of the week.
Now, Cindy gave Mariah her number, but Mariah, too humble to call her. No. Like, thank you.
I don't think it was humble. I think it's terrified.
Well,
like,
Tara as well. Tara's good.
it's like, oh my God, I can't call that famous, but they're just taking pity on me.
Well, that's
I won't call.
Yeah, humble, Tara, same thing.
Yeah.
And then anyway, they end up, running into each other, and then Cindy's like, "You need to call me," and Mariah's like, "Oh no.
Need to call me.
need
I'm Cindy myself.
You open the heed to call me." And sort of the indication that if Mariah wants the help, she wants the support, it's there. It is already there, but she has to go for it. Make it happen, Mariah, is essentially what she's saying.
Make it happen.
Which I actually thought that was really sweet because I think most people would be like, right, and sort of not know the rules. It's all new. Because there's not a book for this.
There's no book.
Well,
there's no mentoring book.
There's a book now. It's called The Meaning of Mariah Carey.
Yeah,
but up until this moment, there hadn't been a book for this sort of thing. So this is where things start to happen.
Yeah.
The making of the happening is the doing, and it's happening.
Yeah.
So Mariah...
She's broken into the inner circle of
exactly,
BVs.
of the BVs.
The BV
So
circle.
Mariah's in... She was getting more profesh gigs.
That is a mystery show I would watch.
What's that?
The BV Circle, where they sing songs and solve crimes.
Okay, but it has... But no, I want it to be hosted by Chrissy Swan. Can we make that happen?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that circle. Oh, that's right. You're obsessed with
I
that
love that circle. I should just go watch reruns because the news isn't existing anymore.
Yeah, there's no news.
Now, all right, so she's doing the more professional gigs, and one day she's called in to do a session for a male artist.
Yes.
Right. So Mariah's description of this artist...
The group was called Maggie's Dream.
Yes. And it sounds like, as per this description, it was a wet dream. Because Mariah is kind of thirsty for this man.
Yeah.
The words sexy, serene. Sorry, sexy, serene. Perfect 5 o'clock shadow, smelled how ancient Egyptian oils would smell, and an ass that won't quit.
Whoa.
I may have added that last bit.
You did.
But I'm not wrong. He went by Romeo Blue.
Romeo Blue. No one
Romeo
wants
Blue.
to buy records by Romeo Blue.
Romeo Blue. He sure did. But we all know... I didn't even write that one down. But we all know and love him as Lenny motherfucking Kravitz.
Lenny Kravitz.
Son of Mrs. Kravitz from Bewitched.
Yep.
Didn't write that one either. Shit just comes out sometimes. I'm just picturing...
Father of Catwoman.
Yes. So they sort of become friendly with the band and all of that. And
She met Tony, the drummer.
Yes. And through all of these connections, Mimi ends up getting an audition to sing backup on a rework of Brenda K. Starr's already existing hit, I Still Believe.
Someday You and Me.
The Lamley's going to be like, oh, hang on. I know that song.
Oh, yeah.
So this was a hit on the radio, and we know how
She
much
says
Mariah
radio
loves the
8
radio.
times.
Radio.
Radio. It was on the radio.
I'm just ASMRing everything.
I feel weird. Like, I worked in the radio for 10 years. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize it was that big a deal. Like when Slinky Minx came in, they seemed excited, but I was like, oh, yeah, these bitches, whatever.
Oh, my God. They were singing their cover of the Belinda Carlisle song of the Summer Rain.
I was digging through some old photos today, and I was like, oh, my God, I didn't realize I'd met them.
Oh, really?
I did not know that I ever got my photo taken with HRH Minogue.
Wait, what? Did I ever tell you the story about HRH Helena Bonham Carter?
Oh.
So I'll make it quick, but I went to Paris in 2019 in between the Spice Girls shows.
Yes.
And I got sick as a dog. And it was
Because
awful.
of the Spice Girls?
Because when you always get
Too
sick.
much Spice Girls.
Never
you
too
needed
much.
to have
I
a
needed
Mylanta.
more.
You needed to have the Mylanta girls after the Spice Girls. Reflux. That's what you got from those Spice Girls.
No,
Couple of
I needed
quickies,
more.
girls. That's what you needed.
I was going to try to make it short, but we're gone.
You met me.
So, I wasn't, you just get sick on holidays. It always happens.
it
So
happens,
that was where I got sick, and it was hard. I was trying to speak French with an Australian accent and a sore throat and a French name, so everyone assumed I was French. I'm very pale.
Yeah.
I am French, but very long ago.
Yeah.
But
I'm Italian, but very, very long ago. Yeah.
I have the Maltese metabolism.
You can keep it Pastizzi down, but that's about it.
But the basically, I went and had a shit time. Loved the place, but it was just a hard time. Anyway, my sister was there.
You were feeling unwell. Yeah.
Yeah, my sister was there about 4 weeks later, And she messages me and she goes, "Oh, I'm staying in the same hotel as Helena Bonham Carter." And I'm like, "Wait, so what?" And I said to her, "Wait, so you're saying I go to Paris and I get sick, and you are, staying next to Helena Bonham Carter, HRH Helena Bonham Carter."
Yeah.
And
Princess Margaret.
Princess Margaret. So my sister, this was before I'd watched The Crown or anything, but my sister took this as a way to get up and get close and personal with HRH, because she was like, "Oh, this is funny. I can use this." So she goes up to her at the buffet and she goes, "Oh, my brother just said, I can't believe that you're here with HRH, Helena Bonham Carter." She goes, "Oh, let's get a selfie. We'll fuck him up." And then they send me a selfie, like no makeup, like completely just for the moment. And and my sister says to me, "Oh, she was joking about the fuck it up." I'm like, no. I want Helena Bonham Carter to fuck me up. Like, that is what I want.
That is some good shit.
I was like, don't know how we got there. It was HRH. Yes.
You put the tarp down today.
Okay, I put the tarp down.
Happy for
I
you.
never get to.
You never get to put the tarp down?
No, I'm still waiting to meet Tarina Rona.
She will fuck you up.
Oh, she will.
She has the foulest mouth of anyone I've ever met.
So I've heard. I love it. All right. So at the audition for Brenda K. Starr, Mariah had to sing the song. And so Mariah was like, "I'm going to sing it. Like, I'm going to sing this shit."
I love the song. I know how it goes.
Yeah. So I'm going to make it happen.
The full.
Yeah. For Mariah. So Brenda laughed. This made Brenda laugh, and her response was, "You trying to steal my job?" And then, of course, Mariah's like, "Oh, shit, what have I done?" But then, of course, she loved it, and she went on to hire her.
Can I tell you my favourite quote from this section?
Sure. Do you want to save it for Mariahisms? Or
I didn't realise you weren't supposed to out-singer the singer who could hire you. Mariah, she's a star. You're the BV.
She's a K star at that, with 2 R's.
I didn't realise you're not allowed to be more radiant than the bride. I didn't know that was a thing.
Which, of course, she sings that anyway. Now, Mariah was beside herself simply because someone on the radio knew her name. Someone on the radio knew her name. Oh, my God.
Not just that, Mariah's my new best friend.
BFF.
Yep.
BV BFF.
Brenda K. Starr said Mariah is my new best
BKS BV BFF.
Yeah.
It rolls off the tongue.
Right. I'm presuming Brenda K. Starr has like some publishing rights in that song, I still believe, and Mariah's gone, "I'm going to kick her back some cash by singing this song." Sure,
Thanks,
Ben's
babes.
going to have to take half, but whatever.
This is for the good old days. Thanks, babe. Now, at this point, Mariah's professional career really starts to take off in the BV world. But, as she mentions, she's still a teenager. Still a teenager. Very young. Yep. And when she's hanging out with Lenny Kravitz and his band and all of that, they start, the wet dreams, they start teasing her that she's a virgin. Thanks, Clarissa.
Clarissa explained it all.
But I just think, Mariah's just doubling down on the point that she was very young.
Yeah.
Young.
I was actually young.
I wasn't born to 97. This is like 89, 90.
Yeah, she's a zygote. She's not even a fetus yet.
Now, at some point throughout their little professional career, Brenda listens to the demo, capital T, capital D, and loves it. Even wanting and asking to sing one of the songs on her next
Mariah,
album.
I want to do this on my next album. Ooh, Mariah. Ooh.
Ooh, Toby, fuck off. I hope people get that.
Do you know what I love? When she goes, "Oh, I want to sing this in my next album." Mariah's next one is, she still had a song on the radio.
Yeah. Don't know if I'd mentioned it before.
The radio. The radio.
Now, Mariah was like, "Thanks, I'm flattered, but back off, Brenda. These are mine. These are
claws
my
out of my
songs.
fucking moneymaker."
Out of Ben's fucking moneymaker.
Muggles.
Okay, but she probably wasn't.
I feel bad now that I wanted him to be the son of Juliana Margulies and Miriam Margulies.
Well, he could be the disappointing son.
The disappointing son who lives under the stairs. Yeah.
But yeah, basically Mariah sort of says, "You know what? I might have been insecure about everything else, but I was not insecure about my songs and where I wanted to be."
I knew.
So
knew
at this
who I
point,
was.
we get to go to LA. We go on a plane.
Angeles.
Yes. Last of the Angeles. With Brenda to sing at a gig. And on the lineup, there was Jeffrey Osborne.
Yes, Jeffrey Osborne
I don't know.
from LTD.
Yeah, of course. Of course I knew that.
He sings the woo woo song.
Apparently, according to this book that I read, he does.
Yeah.
And
I heard her sing the woo woo song.
Does she sing it? Oh my god! Amazing.
Yeah.
Does she do the whistle? So
Yes.
I can't wait.
Only the whistle. No other bits of the woo.
Oh really? She's like, you should be mine the song. Now
It is seriously, it's one of those heaven moments. I was in the middle of a run and I'm like, Mariah, what are you doing?
there might have been a bit of a little piddle came out. It's fine. Now, throughout his set, he's getting the audience to sing
Yep.
the song, like throwing the mic out there. And so Brenda's like, honey, you come here to me.
Yeah.
You need to get this girl to sing.
Pass it to her.
Pass it to her. And once again, Mariah's like, well, I know I shouldn't, but I will
But I'm
go
gonna.
full Mariah.
Yeah.
And so she goes full Mariah. There's a whistle note. And somehow, that's how she became friends with Will Smith.
Yep. That's
We don't
how
need any more info.
That's how I've become friends with Will Smith.
Absolutely.
As well. I was squealing really loud.
I mean, I was singing Ozzy Osbourne, but same thing. Same thing. So
This is pre Jada Pinkett.
everything's pre-Pinkett. Don't even know what that means, but it sounds good.
Terrified of that woman. I'm scared of saying anything about her in case she comes and gets me in the night.
She absolutely. I kind of welcome it. It's like a death wish.
Yeah.
So then,
Final
when
destination, Pinkett.
Now, I will say she's the one who really wanted that death scene in Scream 2 to be real violent.
yeah.
And it is. I actually think that scene might be the most horrifying of the whole series.
Yeah.
More than the Drew Barrymore
Yeah.
scene. Because it's terrifying. Now, when Mariah starts to talk about Will, I thought we might get some romance vibes for a second. I thought we might have had a losing of the...
I mean, there was a lot of talk about what she was wearing that she borrowed from Josephine.
But it was more like, hey girl, I really like that outfit.
Also, like a long description of what's going on with her hair, which I loved.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about the hair.
I'm going to talk about my hair and how I cascaded down.
Details.
And I
Yeah.
didn't really do anything with it. I just let it be
It was
wet.
but it was also kind of half back.
Yeah.
But no, they just go on to become friends. There's no funny stuff going on. But Will takes Mariah to Def Jam where he was signed.
Yes.
And there's a little junior exec, somebody running around going, I want to hear this girl sing.
Like,
And Mariah
she
is
used to hang out at the nightclub downstairs from Josephine's.
Exactly.
I'm like, Will's in town. It's like, hey, do you want to come to this club? Sure. It's downstairs. I'll be there in a minute.
It's called Josephine's. That's a really fun name for a club. I want to meet Josephine and see if she has a club.
What was the club called? Rascals or something stupid.
Yes. Rascal
Rascals.
Heels. But Mariah was like, babes, I'm destined for Warner or
I
Columbia. You know, one of the big uns, you know.
I can't go to Def Jam. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I didn't hear it.
I mean, look, you know, I love that you've got Run DMC and LL Cool J and
that's
you and
cute.
your Jazzy Jeff mate, but
No, but
I'm destined for bigger things than this.
This is I can't help it. It's destiny. It's destiny.
I mean, Arista have been sniffing around, but yeah.
Yeah, so she does. She goes on to sort of say that the demo, capital T, capital D, was starting to get a little of attention from some labels, but saying that her sound was too diverse for music at the time.
Diverse.
And she was being compared to Tina Marie as someone who would just confuse the public. They
yes.
would never understand.
Motown didn't know what to do with her. Yeah.
Now I went on to I didn't know that the Tiny Tina Marina, but I did some googling and oh my god, she's had one of the most terrifying things ever happen to her, which is when she was staying in a hotel, a photo like a big frame fell on her head and started causing seizures, and it didn't say if that was sort of contributed to her passing, which was a while after, but. I was like, Lord.
Poor Tina Marie.
That's definitely in Final Destination Pinkett. Like, oh my God. But like Tina Marina Mariah didn't want to cross over into mainstream with the current sound. She wanted to do her own thing. She wanted to transcend Darling. Now, there was no Darling there, but there was a Darling there. There was a Darling.
You know what I loved is when old mate, the head of Atlantic, was like, we've already got our teen girl. We've got Debbie Gibson.
I know.
I'm like, mate. I mean, Debbie
Basically
does write
the
her own
same.
songs, and she has perfect pitch. You know, I did a show, I can't remember what year it was, maybe 99. And
So
the
you were
end of
2?
the show, huh?
Mariah was 2.
Yeah, I was also 2. And the end of the show, I danced to Electric Youth by Debbie Gibson. So I was like, I miss Teen Stars. I wish there were Teen Stars. Weirdly, within about 3 months, Hit Me Baby One More Time came out. And I was like, oh, they're back. We're good.
Oh, so this was 98. You were 1.
Yeah, I was 1.
Yeah.
I
I remember that I saved up. Did you have fun runs at your school?
possibly, but I never ran until
I had fun
turned 50.
struts. But no, we had like a fun run. You just had to run around the oval a few times, and you'd go around the community and raise money for the school to build something new or get some new gym equipment, whatever it was.
we
And
just
grade-
sold chocolates that we stole from the shop.
Yum, delicious. But you know, we go around.
Sometimes
you
we
know,
would buy a raffle book and go around and sell raffle tickets.
for nothing.
Well,
That's
just
such a
for-
good idea. sure, it's fraud,
School.
but whatever. But no, so you know,
buy lolly.
this is when you could send your kids to the neighbors and be okay. You know. But anyway, so we went and did that, and if you raised like $50, you'd get a $10 prize.
Yeah.
And the prize within the $10 bracket, there was a few things. There was like a slinky. Maybe like, you know, those jumping jack things, whatever. Or a $10 leading edge voucher.
Leading Edge.
Oh my God. I
that a
was
shop?
beside myself. Yeah. So leading edge was Sanity before Sanity was Sanity.
Oh, right.
But
But,
it was-
after Brashes.
I think so.
Yeah.
It was sort of the one that I knew. And what I loved, they knew who I was.
JB adjacent.
Yes. And they knew who I was.
'cause you went there all the
but
time.
they were sort of like the slightly cooler, less corporate one. You know?
Right.
Like, yeah, you'd go there and they had the random thing that, you know, they had Ace of Base singles from 6 years ago. But I went there and I got my little Baby One More Time CD, and I remember making a point to go up to the teacher and go, so, you know, that voucher, I got Britney Spears with it. It's fine.
Britney.
No need to clap. Because there was something about that song and that moment that was like,
such a great
something's
song.
happening, something's happening.
I ended up dancing to that instead of Debbie Gibson on Rove. When I did, it was the same
Oh,
routine.
did you?
I just
Yeah.
had that song. And then it became, I think I became Bootylicious, and then I decided I had to retire it because I was getting old.
I couldn't dance
And
anymore.
then I started singing Christina Aguilera instead.
You know what though? It'd like, just as you get a bit older, it'll be funny again. Like if you do that at 70, hilarious.
Yeah.
Not that you'll, you know,
I'll throw my hips out, love. I did enough damage on Celebrity Splash. You don't want to see me. You don't want me falling into the front row of an audience, crushing the entire crowd. And it was
Ooh, a
funny when I
cookie.
was fat because I could dance really well. And it was like, my God, that fat man can move.
Now he's skinny. It's just sad.
It's just a sad, fat old man. A lot of jelly wobbling.
So with that, with the transcending,
She has
we
transcended.
finally finish. Make it happen.
Make it happen.
She made it happen.
I can't wait for you to hear the whistle tone.
I'm excited.
Woo woo, the woo woo whistle tone.
I'm very excited.
You are gonna. I mean, it's a lot. The next chapter that we get to, you have a lot of work to do. Because,
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you've got to listen to all of this one
true. Well, it
before
was
we
like,
even get into Cherchez la Femme.
It was like the one with the, you know, extreme racism.
Yes.
I had to listen to that all over again. And the one with the tea, that was the hard one. I had to
The
listen
tea
to
was
that
hard.
all over again, and that affected me.
again.
I was gone.
It was
But
hard.
I think it's time for some Mariah meatiness.
Meaty.
Mariah made it out.
So our meatiness. Let's start. We'll start with last week. Alone in Love and the Prelude A.
Prelude, eh?
I gave that an 8 out of 10. Mm-hmm. You gave it Infinity Plus 1, which you complained about on the Twitter. And Lamley gave it Infinity 100%. They were 100% of the vote.
See, because they wanted the +1. They wanted the option of +1. And
I can't because it only gives you 4 options. And it's too hard already.
Well, it should be 1 to 9, Infinity +1, Infinity +10.
But what if someone thinks it's a 1 and then we count it as a 9? And then
that's just
math is.
How can it be a 1? I don't understand.
Forever.
It would never be a 1.
Maybe they didn't find the hair chapter that meaty. I don't know. We can't
1
judge.
to 4, 5 to 9, Infinity plus Infinity.
Anyway, for this time, we're going to do the meatiness for the entire chapter, the whole overall chapter.
Whole of Make It Happen.
So this is what was hard because, as I've said before, this was a dense chapter. There was a lot.
There was a lot of meaning.
Was it meaty though? This is where I started to go, is it meaty? I don't know.
Well, how are we defining? See, I'm defining meaty as things about the Mariah that I love.
Okay.
The stories behind real Mariah, the stories behind the singer, the stories behind the creating of the songs, the signing the terrible piece of paper.
Yeah. See, I'm more going for the shade and the tea.
Yeah. I mean, we had a forest full of shade.
We did.
Teas.
But that's still is yet to come.
I know.
So for me, I thought the Ben stuff was quite meaty. We did get a bit of shade and tea. A lot of info. So I actually appreciated the info. So what I did, I thought, you know what? We're hashtag almost there.
Yeah.
So I gave it a 10. It's a 10 chapter. It is. It's a
not
10 out of
infinity, but a 10.
But it's just not quite 10 for the meatiness. See how that works.
Right.
Yeah. Had she have really gone to town on Ben and slagged him out, well, we'd be infinity, wouldn't we?
I kind of like she's made peace with it, though. She's gone, look, it's just money. I've made a lot.
Yeah. And there's people I hate more since.
Yeah.
So how about you for the meatiness? I based on your description, I'm going to say we might be Infinity +2,
+3. Actually, that's what I've written down. Infinity +3
for an extra dilating.
I've had to put scaffolding in. I've dilated so much.
So of course I will put this out for the Lamely to have a little vote.
Yeah.
It'll just be Infinity +1, Infinity +2,
Infinity +22 is the highest you can go.
Okay.
The remix. The remix.
Now let's hit up a little bit of a remix for this portion of the chapter.
Section.
For the second half.
Can it still be don't sign the photocopy?
Sure, if you can't think of anything
No. What's your remix?
So I probably wouldn't tell Clarissa I was a virgin. That's number one.
No.
And I was going to say that it seems like Mariah learned the lesson to not out-sing the lead singer, but that is also what kind of got her the gig. So I don't know if that's a lesson we need to apply.
I don't think she learnt that either, because when Jeffrey Osborne
She
handed
learned
the
it-
microphone, she went for it.
She learned it in relation to her backing vocalist.
Yeah, she was like, oh.
But not her as a backing.
Don't
No.
hire those ones.
Yeah.
For instance, she would never have hired Ariana Grande to sing backing vocals.
I mean, she doesn't know how, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know that I have a remix for this because I kind of love it all. You know what?
All right.
You know what my one remix might be?
Okay.
Is given what happens when she eventually signs with Columbia and meets Tommy. Go with Def Jam to be.
Oh. Get a little Fresh Prince action.
Well, they were doing some exciting cutting edge stuff, and that's what she had trouble getting into.
True.
Her sound later on. Like 4 albums later, she's like, I want ODB. And they're like, no. But if you're with Def Jam from the start, no one's surprised. No one's surprised if LL Cool J just suddenly starts yelling over the top of your song. No one's surprised if you're hanging out with Busta Rhymes. Like, that's not a surprise to anyone. But having said that, she may not have had the career she's had. So who knows?
True, that's true. We don't know.
But that's my remix.
What we do know is that Mariah has lots of lessons that we can take away.
Oh,
And
yes.
I think we should.
Can take that away. Oh, Mariah's lesson.
So my lesson for this week is, if you know what you want, go for it. Even if the big old stars want to get in on that, stand your ground like Mariah did. And also a little bit of be humble, respect those within your craft. Because even if you don't want to, that shit might come back to bite in the ass. So it's just better to do it. So that was my lesson for this second half of the chapter.
Yes.
What was yours?
I didn't realize you weren't supposed to outsing the singer who could hire you.
I think it's time for I Don't Know Her.
I don't know who.
Do we have any I Don't Know Hers for this second half of the chapter?
Oh, Jada Pinkett.
One in the Pinkett, two in the Smith.
Bogan yet camp thing you've ever said. It's like your brand.
Pretty much.
I am a camp bogan. The meaning.
Posh Lopez. So there are, I will say, I mean, I don't think there's anyone that we don't know, but it would seem, at least briefly for a moment, Mariah doesn't know Def Jam.
No. I mean,
She doesn't know her. Doesn't know her. Like, you and I, you're fine, but I don't know
She
you.
popped them into her forest of shade.
Gosh, I would love to go through that forest just quietly.
Forest is very busy.
With the icy flaps all around you.
There's a lot. I don't know. Like, everyone seems lovely in this chapter. Like,
It's true,
everyone
yeah.
is lovely. You know, it feels like she doesn't know Lenny Kravitz briefly when he's someone else. But then he's Lenny Kravitz. She's fine with him.
Yeah. Same, obviously.
Yeah, I'm not into... I don't know Romeo and Blue. But, you know, Lenny Kravitz, I'm all into him.
Yeah.
Like, there's just,
He has that daughter I like.
Yeah, she kind of describes him like he's a massive wanker, but you know,
But a
horribly
sexy
attractive.
wanker. Yeah.
You know who we don't know?
Oh,
Doug Morris,
who's done Morris?
the head of Atlantic. We already
Was
have
he
our
mentioned? I
teen
don't
girl.
remember. Oh, yeah.
We already have Debbie Gibson.
That was the one thing I managed to, to not write down in a note about this chapter. So I'm
That's
glad
who
you
we
remembered
don't
it.
know. We don't know Doug Gibson
Yeah.
and his Debbie Gibson loving ways. I mean, I get lost in your eyes too, but calm down.
Thank you. Mine are trash heap green.
Mariah-isms.
So we've got our little new section, the Mariah-isms. Mariah. So last chapter, we each selected a Mariah-ism and we put it to the Lamely.
About Madonna.
About Madge. And we put it to the Lamely to vote for their fave. The two options were I was actually a young girl.
Actually, yeah.
Actually. Or I could, but with my voice alone.
With my voice alone.
And in a landslide, the Lamely have incorrectly voted for Fab's choice. I could, but with my voice alone. Which just proves that bribery does work.
I bribed no one. They are just taking the no-low stance.
But it's okay. Unlike certain ex-presidents, I won't be contesting this. Mm-hmm. Purchased or not, the votes landed in Fab's favour. So he gets to go first in presenting his choice for this chapter's Mariah-ism. Now, I should point out, this counts for the entire chapter.
The entire chapter.
So what is your Mariah-ism of the week? Of
My
the episode?
Mariah-ism of the week is a forest full of shade.
It is good.
It is so good. I was going to go shady photocopied contract, but I'm like, no. She's built a forest. She grew that herself. Full of shade.
She's out there. She's planting the seeds.
It is the most Mariah. It's a forest full of shade. I love it.
Okay.
And I am looking forward to the whole next 3 sections, which are all going to be shady forests. All of it.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So I have quite it's a little bit more of a subtle shade throwing, okay? So I'm going to read you the whole quote, but then there's one specific moment that I want you to see if you can figure it out, which is my Mariahism, all right?
And I'll tell you what my runner-up was as well.
Okay, cool.
Go.
So the full quote is this. One must pick one's battles wisely, and I wasn't about to come for someone I'd already left behind. I was on my way. I'll be eternally grateful, and I wish him well. My Mariahism is, I'll be eternally grateful. Because I'm sorry, snap, Forest of Shade, eternally grateful is from Vision of Love, which he co-wrote. Mariah is using his own lyrics to shade him, or probably her lyrics. But even so, the song they worked on together, she's throwing it back in his face, but almost as a taking the higher end. I'll be eternally grateful.
I'll be eternally grateful for my 70%.
Yeah, that was no accident. That was no accident. Mariah knows when she's name checking her own song, and it was so subtle, I almost cried.
That is good.
Because, you know, someone I've already left behind is good, but it's obvious. I'll be eternally grateful. Icy flaps straight through the heart.
The bigger person.
Yeah.
It was much bigger person.
It was loaded.
Yeah.
Loaded.
I'm the bigger person. The bigger, richer, more famous.
And every time she sings that lyric, you're now going to think of it as, snap.
Eternally grateful.
Forest of Shade. So yeah.
So my runner-up, Mariahism, which I feel like,
I wonder if we're going to have the same one just because it's funny.
And Lord knows what else.
That was good. My runner-up was actually shoes without involuntary air conditioning.
Shoes without involuntary air conditioning is so good.
I did think that was good. Although it would have come in handy if it was in her hair.
Yes, just constantly blowing.
Maybe that's what's in there. Maybe that's what's in there is Mariah's old shoes.
Her old shoes constantly flapping, making your hair blow. And Lord knows what else.
We will put this to a vote, and please don't vote against me just because you hate me.
Just because it's pro-low, you can eternally grateful is some good shade.
It's some good shade. So we've got the Forest of Shade, or we've got eternally grateful.
Eternally grateful.
At the end of the podcast, baby. Almost there, almost home. You could probably say, but you won't because of copyright.
So this brings us to almost home.
Almost home. Oh, well, how many chapters have we got next week? Is it just Cherchez la femme?
All right, so next Mariah Monday, we will be hitting up Cherchez la femme.
Cherchez la femme.
Cherchez la femme. And Princess Prisoner.
Princess Prisoner.
Xena, Princess Prisoner.
I'm very much looking forward to these. Ooh.
I'm very excited for the rapping that's going to happen, I assume.
Oh, there's got to be rapping.
If she's talking about prisoner.
Prisoner?
I don't want to be a prisoner.
She invented rapping.
I don't know why I was just Taylor Dane. I don't want to be a prisoner.
I know you're lying.
Taylor Dane.
All of your action. Don't want to be a prisoner.
I don't want to be a prisoner. I need to get the...
That is my name.
There's one part that I'm blanking on. But
I'm on living in the shadow of my love.
Wait, where is
Those empty nights.
No more. No, that's Anastasia. No more.
That's Anastasia sliding into Cher.
Baby, now.
Anastasia left outside alone like a dog chained up in the yard.
Gotta stop saying. Left outside alone. What's going on here? Please, as always, check us out on the Instagram, the Twitters, the Facebooks. I did actually try to start doing some of these voting things on the Instagrams and the Facebooks. No one's bitten yet, but whatever. Twitter seems to be the place.
Yeah.
And all the extras and all of the rating and the reviewing on the iTunes and all that sort of stuff would be lovely, darlings.
So, yes, we will see you next week with a brand new episode, Chapter 12. Oh, my God.
We're not even halfway.
I know. We're 41% through according to McKindle.
Oh, really?
All right, darling. Big air kisses.
All right.
Mwah, mwah.
Bye.
Bye, Lamely.
Me.